As temperatures in the Arctic heat up, so too are the tensions. Until recently, the Arctic was mostly a region of international cooperation, but it's quickly becoming a battleground of sorts for global power. And earlier this week, the U.S. Army deployed HIMARS to the Aleutian Islands, drawing a line in the sand or water against potential Chinese and Russian aggression. China is expanding its presence in the Arctic, pursuing influence in the governance there and tapping into economic opportunities created by climate change. At the same time, its growing partnership with Russia, which seeps into things like trade, science, and military cooperation, is reshaping regional dynamics. The Pentagon says this unprecedented collaboration poses potential security threats near Alaska and could alter the strategic balance in the Arctic. If you want to know more about how we got here, be sure to check out our past reporting at san.com. But this week, the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense, Ferguson, is saying joint patrols by Chinese and Russian warships, bombers, and the Coast Guard are growing more frequent, like that large-scale operation off Alaska's coast in July. Ferguson says these moves mark a significant shift, giving China new and concerning access to the Arctic. The Arctic was once considered a remote buffer zone. It's becoming more accessible now due to climate change. Since there's not as much ice, new shipping lanes are being exposed, as well as access to resources. The faster the ice melts, the quicker the competition is accelerating.
The PRC, I think, is one of the newer entrants on the scene, relatively speaking. I think over time, the strategic interests that they have in the region, I think, are what are giving us pause, and how their long-term vision for the region could affect our interests is giving us pause. And I think especially where we're seeing the increasing levels of collaboration between Russia and the PRC and unprecedented styles of collaboration, especially in the military domain, give us, again, pause.
China does not border the Arctic, but the Chinese Communist Party declared the country a near-Arctic nation and sees the region as key to advancing its military and economic goals. Meanwhile, Russia's war in Ukraine strengthened its ties with Beijing, opening new opportunities for collaboration. The Pentagon's latest Arctic strategy warns of growing threats from both nations. It highlights China's use of dual-purpose icebreakers used for underwater drone testing and aircraft operations. Out of necessity, Ferguson says the U.S. is ramping up its own Arctic exercises with its allies.
We really just need to be clear-eyed about some of their intentions and how we can be thinking about their long-term interests and how we can best protect ours.
In addition to the HIMARS deployed to the Aleutians, U.S. B-52 bombers conducted Arctic live-fire drills alongside Norway and the UK, another obvious show of force and meant to deter adversaries. Ferguson is emphasizing the need for renewed investment in Arctic infrastructure. During the Cold War, the U.S. heavily fortified the region, but much of that capability was scaled back over the decades. Now, defense experts are calling for a stronger, more permanent presence to meet the growing challenges posed by China and Russia. For more of our unbiased, straight fact reporting, download the Straight Arrow News app today or check us out at san.com.